Hi everyone, just here with Canine Perspective with another dog attack review video. As you can see, this was a pretty bad dog attack. Unfortunately, the small dog that was attacked in the video did not survive the attack. It was a 16-year-old Pomeranian, and they did rush the Pomeranian to an emergency vet. However, I believe if I read over the article, the pit bull bite had punctured either the dog's lung, the dog's heart, or both. So the dog did pass before they even got to the veterinarian, okay? So it's very sad to see something like this, but of course, there are things to learn. The first thing is, again, just having that environmental awareness. Being aware of what's going on in your environment just puts you one step ahead to be able to prevent something like this from happening, okay? Prevention is always best, because then there's not even the opportunity of the dog being attacked and or killed, okay? So in the video, I'll play it here. You're gonna see a clip, a section of the clip where the owner of the small dog is coming out and she sees the pit bull. And if you read the pit bull's body language, it's clearly in a stalking mode. Tail is straight up, head is down, it's in a stalking mode, right? Right there is where you're already going, trying to intercept the dog before it gets to your dog. And here's that clip. Okay, so as you can see, pit bull was clearly stalking. Owner was heading out back towards the street or towards her dog, and there was obviously there's some stuff that's blocked, so there might have been even been an additional second or two where we could have come in and intervened and either act as a body block for the attacking dog and or intercept, grab step on the leash prior to the attack, prior to the dog actually making contact with the small dog. Okay. So again, that environmental awareness, you let your dog out, you look around, oh, there's a person, in this particular case was actually the mother, it was a mother with her child, I don't know if it was a boy or a girl, had given the leash to the child, okay? So if I come out and I let my dog, my dog wouldn't be off leash. That's the first thing, right? Is complacency. I was reading the article, and I guess they have done this for 16 years with their dog, where they would go out, take out the garbage, and then let the dog go potty, and probably without incident. But it doesn't mean, just because nothing has happened doesn't mean nothing can happen. Okay. So the dog should have been on a leash. So if my dog's on a leash and I come out and I go and I look around and I go, oh, there's a small child. I believe it looked like a 12-year-old baby walking a powerful dog. I'm either going to stay inside and let them pass, or I'm going to keep my dog on a leash so that I'm there and let them pass before I actually go out. Okay. So, she goes out, her dog is off leash, runs to go potty. I guess she goes down to go do something. And on the way out, the dog had overpowered the child and pulled the leash from their hands. Okay. And I believe that's who you see come into the video there when the dog attack happens. Having that environmental awareness would have allowed the woman to either prevent, of course, that incident from happening, and or already be a step ahead where we're coming in and we're shouting, hey, trying to, again, spook that dog away, okay? Trying to put out confrontation to get the dog to think twice so that they would at least maybe take a step back so that we can grab the leash. I'm not a fan of a child controlling a power breed, but the kid could grab the leash. Something could have been done. We can grab the dog, the small dog. There would have been a potentially a greater window of time to be able to prevent the full attack from happening. So some things to note here would be, one, environmental awareness, right? Always be aware of your surroundings. If someone's walking the dog, do they look like they control the dog, can control the dog? Does the dog look controlled, right? Reading that dog's body language. The next thing is not putting children in control of a powerful dog or a large dog, okay? There's another video that I did in the past of, again, if I remember correctly, it was a child walking their pit bull on, I think it was on a harness as well, and they were across the street, and the pit bull breaks from the child's hands, runs across the street and attacks this guy's, I think it was a chocolate lab, as he's letting him out into the yard. And here's a quick clip of that. Again, another case of a child being put in control of a powerful dog. Now, possibly in these instances, they've not seen anything before, so they just give full trust. And dogs are dogs, they're primal creatures. Just because something hasn't happened doesn't mean something couldn't happen, okay? So we always want to keep that in mind. So, environmental awareness and not putting children in control of powerful and or large dogs, right? That's how we go about preventing these things from happening, okay? So the next part is there is a very small chance that we're able to save the dog after the attack has happened, okay? The way the things played out in this video. So I go by what do we have in the, what may we have access to in this particular moment of time, okay? So I posted another video about a dog attack, and then I was getting messages on like, oh, if the dog, if they had like what was called a break stick to break the dog away from the attack or off the bite. Someone was like, oh, I would charge the dog with a weapon. Like, these are things that we don't have within the video. So I'm looking at what is accessible, right? So the pit bull was on a flat collar with a leash, okay? So after the attack happens, the owner of the small dog starts screaming and charges in, and she goes to kick the dog, okay? Now, I'm not opposed to that, but when I see that, I go, that's not gonna do anything, right? In another video, we saw how they were spraying the dogs with like cleaner. We saw them punching the dog in the head. I think someone was even hitting the dog with a stick, and the dog would not release the bite. And I said, you wanna choke the dog out here, okay? Same thing in this situation. I understand why she did it, and again, I'm not trying to bash the person for doing that. I just, when I see that, I go, that's the last thing on my mind, because it's a very powerful dog to a very small, old, fragile dog, right? Is I'm trying to come in and prevent the head shake, and that's exactly what happened. She goes to kick the dog, and right away, we get the head shake. Right? And the head shake is when the dog is going to kill the prey. So the first thing I would have done is went, grab that leash, grab that collar, pulled straight up and twist the collar. By twisting the collar, you're putting more constriction on the neck and then really just trying to contain that head to prevent the dog shake, or to prevent the head shake, okay? By twisting the collar as well, you're putting more pressure around the neck to get them to choke out and release that bite faster, okay? While also containing the head as much as you can to keep it in place to prevent the head shake. Typically, when we see the head shake, the neck of the attack dog, it might break. They're just, it's terrible. They're trying to break the dog's neck, and you're trying to prevent that head shake from happening by just containing the head and twisting to choke up on them to get that bite to release faster, okay? Now, it does look like in the video, she does take the leash, and you see her grab, she chokes up right next to that collar, and she pulls straight up, but she also then, she does what I call a bob. She releases the pressure. Like you're apple bobbing. They pull up and they pull down, they pull up and they pull down. The moment you pull up, you're again just trying to get that collar to twist and or constrict and control the head as tightly as possible as you can, so to prevent that head shake and to get them to lose the breath and drop that hold, okay? So the reason why grabbing up closer to the collar, that choke up, is important is because the closer you are to the collar, the more immediate leverage you have. The farther away you are from the collar, the less leverage you have. So if I grab the handle, I'm all the way up here trying to put tension on the collar, right? You have to do a lot more. But if I grab the collar right where the neck is, I'm going to have an immediate response from the dog, or have immediate control to get them and rein them in, okay? So I do like that she went and choked up. However, she immediately released pressure, and then you start to see the dog shake some more, okay? Because if you take the collar and you hold it up, it's going to come up underneath the jaw and then behind the head. And if I twist it again, I'm just containing that head so that they don't get the head shake. While the owner of the pit bull is also trying to help get the dog to release the bite. But it does look like she's able to choke the dog out, okay? On a parting note, this is why people with no experience or who don't control their dogs shouldn't own dogs like pit bulls, German shepherds, Rottweilers. These power breeds do not belong in the hands of ignorant people. You know, I would not ever give my dog's leash to a little kid for whatever reason, okay? Even when we get trained dogs, I tell my clients, like, your child is still a child, your child still thinks like a child, your child's not gonna have the awareness, they're not gonna have the understanding of things like an adult would. So even a trained dog can, you know, make a bad decision and, you know, do something horrible. But this is why I would not give a child control over a powerful dog. Okay, so I'm Jesse with Canine Perspective. Thank you for watching.